Coming up on today's episode of Parasport Nation, Canada's wheelchair curling team got bronze at the World Championships. Chrissy Molnar from the team is joining the show to recap the event and competition and the experience as her first time competing. Let's get started.
Welcome to Parasport Nation with Alex Smyth and Nathan Clement.
Welcome into Parasport Nation. I'm Alex Smyth. As always, I'm joined by co-host Nathan Clement. Nathan, how are you doing, sir? Last time we were talking about an award nomination for you, BC Athlete of the Year. The award ceremony was recently held. Tell us about the event.
It was a beautiful evening, but as soon as I got into the venue, I realized my seat was at the real back of the place. So right away, I knew I was not going to be winning anything from the moment I sat down. But it was just a special evening where Cody Fournier won the Male Para Athlete of the Year, and just his accomplishments in Paris and really his athletic journey has just been so incredible to see. As a former wheelchair rugby player, now becoming an athletics star, and just what he's accomplished, but as well on the women's side, having Danielle Ellis, who we've had on the show, friend of the program, and what she's done as a athlete, as a leader and advocate on the women's side, but also the parasport side, is just absolutely incredible. And to have the always amazing Scott Russell host and just have another opportunity to celebrate what he's done for sport in Canada was just a very special evening altogether. And although I was at the nosebleeds of the place, it was still really cool just to be a part of it and really take in and see so many familiar faces across the sport and parasport landscape.
Yeah, there was no chance you were winning if you're seated in the background. Unfortunately, I mean, you were definitely would have been deserving of the award, but I think Cody put up a worthy resume for the win. So hopefully next time, Nathan, it will be your turn to get the call for the award. But that said, while we're handing out and discussing hardware from last week, you have more hardware Canadians are racking up in the PSN update.
Now, the PSN update.
The glistening Okanagan snow laid the backdrop for the FIS Parasnowboard World Championships at Big White. Canada's team of 5 delivered on home soil as the pride of Campbell River, BC was welcomed to paradise as Tyler Turner captured his 3rd consecutive Snowboard Cross World Championships. Notable performances saw Philippe Nadru place 5th, Alex Matthey 8th, and friend of the program, Sandrine Hamal 11th. From one world champion to a duel of world title holders, we land in Scandinavia. Natalie Wilkie's dominant season reaches new heights, winning 2 races at the IBU Parabiathlon World Cup Finals. Another friend of the program, Mark Arendz, added more hardware as he captured a silver and bronze in Thorsby, Sweden. In wheelchair curling, Canada will be on the ice for teams action in Milano-Cortina. The squad has punched their ticket for the games after claiming bronze at the Wheelchair Curling Championships in Scotland. Next up is mixed doubles action as that gets started this week in Scotland. And that's the PSN update.
Lots to get to in that update. Obviously, we'll start at the top. A three-peat for Tyler Turner. Just incredible. And what a way to get ready as a Paralympic year kind of starts to come into the fold. We're 1 year out. Winning 3 straight world championships is a good way to prepare for Paralympic Games.
Oh, just winning 3 straight world championships is an absolute just incredible hat trick of success. And to win the World Cup title, to win the Crystal Globe, and now a World Championship all in the same year just goes to show the character, the class, the form that he is in. And as athletes that I've known that have won multiple World Championships time and time again, it gets harder to defend every single year as that pressure mounts as you want number 3, number 4, and so forth and so on from there. So just for him to do that is just so special. And yeah, it's exciting because now we got under a year to go. So there's a lot of exciting things coming up once the season gets going in snowboard cross next year.
Yeah, and obviously there's also a lot of success on the para biathlon front. Mark Arentz, Natalie Wilkie. We are going to be getting into things a bit later in the show. We're going to have some predictions for Milano-Cortina. Sneak peek, maybe para biathlon is one of my bold predictions for the Paralympics. I don't want to give too much away, but just another incredible outing for the team.
Yeah, just absolutely phenomenal. Just like what they've accomplished this whole entire season, from world titles, World Cup wins, and now winning the World Cup finals in biathlon. Just it's exciting. It's really exciting to see what that team's done, but to even add more hardware in another sport, wheelchair curling, we just had a great performance over there in Scotland.
Yeah, and we have Chrissy Molnar. Yeah, and we have Chrissy Molnar joining the show in a moment. Before we welcome her in, though, I just want to touch on the fact that the mixed doubles that are set to get ready to compete later this week, they're going to be appearing at the Paralympics for the first time. It's really fascinating that you actually have a sport expanding in the Winter Paralympics. It's a rather small slate of sports and competitions when you compare it to the Summer Games. So it's really exciting to see wheelchair curling actually expand with a new category of mixed doubles. And to have Mark Idison, Ina Forrest representing Canada, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
Oh, we have an absolute juggernaut of a squad going into the mixed doubles competition. And as you mentioned, like the Winter Games programs, often a lot smaller than the Summer Games or even the Winter Olympic side of things. So whenever we can get an addition, get an added event, it just shows what that sport is doing for its growth. And wheelchair curling is really booming on the winter side, and it's going to be really exciting to see how the dynamics play out this next week in Scotland. As I know in previous years when they had it in South Korea, that event was really massive and really popular to watch, just from the drama and everything that happens in wheelchair curling.
Yeah, and you will have all the details and latest scores in the PSN update as the competition rolls on. But for now, let's welcome in Chrissy Molnar, a member of the newly crowned bronze medal winners from the Wheelchair Curling World Championships. Chrissy, thank you so much for taking time to chat with us today.
No, thanks for having me.
So first off, congratulations. You and your team took home the bronze at the World Championships. How does it feel to come away with a medal at that competition?
It's amazing. Last year was my first year, but this is the first year I got to play in some games. So the medal really, it means a lot more knowing that I got to contribute to it. So
Congratulations on the medal. On top of the medal, you've also secured your spot for the Milano-Cortina Games next year. How does that feel, knowing that you have a secured roster spot going into the games just under a year away?
it's very exciting knowing that we're actually that it's set. We're looking forward to the next season we just ended. So we're just going to get ready with all the planning for next year. It's going to be full out ready to compete at the Paralympics.
And for yourself, take us through some of this, the competition at the World Championships. As you said, this was your first time kind of being a part of the team for this competition. What was it like? What was that first experience like for you?
Well, last year I was on the bench for all the games, so I was just taking it all in. It's such a big experience. So having that to experience and then coming in this year, I was a little more relaxed and knowing that I was going to play in some games. I really worked on getting my confidence up and I practiced a lot. So it was really great coming in and being able to play.
With that roster, and especially in curling, how important is that team dynamic at the end of the day?
Oh, it's very important. We've had a new lineup this year. So everybody was just fitting into their roles and getting to know each other. And as the competition went on, you could see everybody was clicking and it all came together right for the playoffs. So it was really great to see.
And for someone who doesn't know about your story, Chrissy, can you tell us a bit about your journey that led you to being part of this national team, to competing at the World Championships, and hopefully next year in the Paralympics with Milano-Cortina?
Yeah, so I was an athlete pretty much since I was a kid. I was a long distance runner, and then in 2004 I had an accident that left me a T12L1 para. And I tried a bunch of other sports. I'd done cycling, and in 2012, my home coach, Carl Rennick, found me at the fair in Bobcaygeon. So he asked me if I'd want to come out and try curling, which I had never, it wasn't even on my radar. So he was like, I said, sure, I'll come out and try. And then ended up playing that year and winning provincials that year with two other teammates that are on the team, John Thurston and Kalinda Joseph. So we won provincials that year. It was supposed to be just a building year. So we ended up going to nationals. And then after that, I have 3 children. So I took some time off to have my 3rd child. And I said, I'll come back. Give me a call in about 7 or 8 years, and maybe I'll come back. So John ended up calling me up and asked if I wanted to come back and try, come out for a bonspiel in Peterborough. And one thing led to another, and I was full on back into curling. And there was a women's camp that they had, like a next gen camp, just trying to get more women involved. And I was asked if I wanted to apply to the next gen program, which I did. And then I was selected to go to Worlds last year.
That's an incredible journey, and just seeing you now competing your first like full world championships, what kind of pride does you take in from that journey starting in 2004 all the way to potentially qualifying for your first Paralympic Games?
Well, getting to wear the maple leaf is definitely an honor, and playing my first game, I didn't realize how emotional it was going to be. So we came out with a win in that game against Japan, and getting off the ice, it was a feeling I've never had. It was such a great experience, very emotional. So I'm looking forward to being able to represent Canada at the Paralympics.
Curling is one of the few sports, it seems right now, especially as we head towards the Paralympics, that it's actually growing. They're bringing in a new competition with the mixed doubles to expand to the slate of competition in curling. As a wheelchair curler, what does it mean to see that the sport is actually growing and expanding, and there's more opportunity for people to play the game that you are playing in?
Yeah, having the mixed doubles definitely has expanded the number of athletes that can actually participate. So just being able to bring out more people and being able to play more games and getting more exposure to para sports has been great.
For our viewers and listeners that might not be familiar with wheelchair curling, what are some of the rule breakdowns compared to other types of curling?
Let's see. Well, we don't have sweeping. So that's a big difference. As far as rules go, it's pretty much the same.
Well, that's the big one. The sweeping is such an iconic part of the sport. Is the shouting, hurry, hurry hard, things like that. That's kind of the iconic game. And so when people do tune in and watch wheelchair curling, that's that kind of major change that they do notice. Take us back to those early days when you were discovering the para sport that you wanted to pursue. You mentioned, you tried cycling, you tried some other sports. They weren't really connecting with you. What was it about curling that you really enjoyed and you decided to follow as you take in your athletic journey?
Well, with curling, it's an athletic sport, but it's also a mental sport, right? They call it chess on ice, and it truly is. It's a big strategy game as well. And just the people that I've gotten to know in curling everyone is amazing, great group of friends. So just being able to go through those experiences with everybody has been really great.
It always seems like such a tight collective, and especially like with like traveling coming up, and you were in South Korea last year and as well as Scotland. Has there been like any favorite places that you've traveled to, whether it's in Canada but also around the world as well through wheelchair curling?
Well, I'm just getting to travel now. I haven't traveled much before. I think I've been to Florida and Mexico. So Korea was that was the first really big travel I'd done. It was quite amazing. Like, it was a long trip, but like being able to tour Seoul with the team and compete there, and their venue was amazing there as well. And then going to Scotland, I've always dreamt of going to Scotland, even aside from curling. So being able to go and curl there was an amazing experience.
We are just under a year out from the 2026 Paralympic Games in Milano-Cortina. As we look forward to the next year, what is your hope for the year as we kind of head towards those games?
Well, everyone's going to be super focused going into this year for sure. And I think teams are going to be figured out pretty quick, and everyone's going to be doing whatever they can training wise and prepping to get ready for the Paralympics. It's a very exciting year.
How do you balance, because as an athlete myself, it's so important, like once the season kind of ends, is find that time to get that downtime or spend time with the people that matter most. How do you find that time to make sure that you're being there with like family, friends, but then also prepping going into a games year?
Well, we have a little bit of time off. We just got back from Worlds, so we have a few weeks to like decompress and reconnect with friends and family. And I have 3 kids, and it's March break now, so we're full on into family time for the next week. And so yeah, it's just recharging and taking some time away from the sport, like every other sport, just recovering and then getting ready and 100% back in after. So.
And what about what does your training look like? Because you're from Trent Lakes, Ontario, a relatively rural part of the province, and you talked about going to a major bonspiel in Peterborough, which again many would consider a smaller community. So when you are doing your training, are you heading to places like Peterborough, or are you going across the country and meeting up with the rest of your national team counterparts to do training camps or things like that?
Well, it's a bit of both. So I have a home gym that I work out here, and then we practice out of Bobcaygeon and Lindsay and Peterborough. So we have a mix of places that we train. And then usually once a month, we'll get together with the full team, either out in Edmonton or in London, and sometimes Kitchener, get together for training camps. And a little bit more as we get closer to Worlds or the Paralympics, there'll be like more getting closer together as we get ready to compete.
And with the training, how does the season look? Is there like what months do you play throughout the year, and what months are focused on like competitions and matches?
So most places don't have ice until after Thanksgiving. So usually as soon as we got ice, we start practicing, and we have some smaller bonspiels starting up in the fall. And then we have the mixed doubles, which happens usually just before Christmas time out in Leduc. And then there's the Ontario Open after that. And then there's just more training camps as we lead up to the bigger events.
And before we let you go, Chrissy, one last question I want to ask you. When you reflect on your entire time playing wheelchair curling, is there one throw or one rock that really stands out as one that was your favorite for one reason or another? Maybe it was like kind of the point of the game, maybe it turned the tide, or maybe it was just the shot you made. It's just so good. Is there one that stands out to you?
Just recently, me and John Thurston played in the doubles provincials, and we won. We had an amazing crowd in Bobcaygeon. There was like 50 or 60 people in the lounge cheering us on. I could hear them from the other end of the ice. They were so loud. And there was a great shot I made, and we're down by 3 after the first end, and then I brought us back up with that shot, and that one's going to stick with me forever. So.
Oh, that's amazing. Chrissy, thank you so much for chatting with us, and best of luck trying to get a bit of downtime after bringing home the bronze medal at the Worlds, and hopefully it's going to be an exciting year as we head towards Milano-Cortina.
Great. Thank you so much.
And that was Chrissy Molnar, one of the newest members on Team Canada's wheelchair curling team. Nathan, it's kind of remarkable for someone like Chrissy. She's been involved in the sport throughout the years. Obviously, she took some time away to focus on her family, but then to come back into the fold and have a pretty rapid rise up the ranks and joining the national team so quickly. It's kind of exciting to see all this experience, all these new opportunities kind of through her eyes, through her experience of everything is so new. The World Championships, it was their first time competing and having success. That's got to be a real sweet thing to have success that first time you're competing at a World Championships.
you're just growing so much confidence when you're able to have that success early on. But as she mentioned there in 2024, when she was in South Korea for that World Championship, she was there as an alternate. So she's able to see a lot of these players, and especially a lot of that competition, as Canada made it to the gold medal match, ended up losing and winning silver. But just to see that and gain that experience from there. But you even noticed too, with just how she got back into the sport, is just a real testament to the growing the women's side of the game, but also Ontario's sport development as well.
Yeah, it's very funny because I went to school in Peterborough at Trent University years ago. So hearing her talk about being from Trent Lakes and you're going to a major bonspiel in that region in Peterborough, it's like, well, it's still a relatively small community, but it just shows that, oh, that's a launch pad for getting into the next gen athlete pool. And for wheelchair curling, it is a mixed sport. You need to have female players on the team. So there is a constant kind of push and drive from not only the athletes, but the organization and national sport body to make sure they're developing athletes, especially female athletes. So I think that's in part really helped Chrissy launch herself onto the national stage. She's a good player and she's gotten a great opportunity as a result. But still, like, we're a year out from the games. Like, to have someone who's coming on to the national and international side of things at this stage, it's such a pivotal time. And it's great that she's gotten that experience. Okay, you've got a bronze medal at the World Championships. Now you can focus in, okay, I've had success. I know what I'm doing. Now I can go and tackle my goal at Milano-Cortina. But Nathan, there's a year out where we're going to be following this team, this sport, as we head into the games. But speaking of the games, we also want to have a bit of fun, and that includes having some hot takes. A year out from Milano-Cortina, I'm going to let you go first with your first hot take.
Well, my first hot take, and there's nothing better than having hot takes that can be held against us for the next year to come. But I think for Canada, and especially on the para ice hockey side, Canada is going to win their first gold at a Winter Paralympics since the last time the games were in Italy in Turin 2006. So I'd say Canada's going to go undefeated in the round robin play and in the knockout round to take out the United States in the gold medal game. But I know you have something inside of the sport of para ice hockey as well.
Yeah, so I was thinking along the same lines. First off, I commend you on your bold take. That is a hot take that Team Canada is going undefeated in the para ice hockey competition. Bravo. I was thinking along the same lines, different angle though. Instead of who's going to win, who's going to lose. When Canada plays the U.S. in para ice hockey, now this could be in the round robin, maybe this is in a potential gold medal match. It will be the most watched para ice hockey game in history. We already saw this on kind of the able-bodied side with the Four Nations Cup. I think this trend is going to continue. You're going to see it at the Olympics. There's going to be a peak interest in viewership in ice hockey, and it's going to continue on for para ice hockey in the Paralympics. So there's going to be the most watched para ice hockey game in history in Milano-Cortina.
I think that hockey is just going to be at an absolute next level there. And just riding momentum, because that's the biggest thing with sports. I think Canada, and this is going to shine a little bit on your potential next answer here too. I think Canada is going to smash medal records and win more medals than the Olympic counterparts in Milano-Cortina 2026.
That is very interesting. So, if this was the summer games, I would be inclined to agree with you. The winter games, however, that's really where Canada shines. I know we've been talking nonstop about the quality of the teams. Every single PSN update seems to have some Team Canada athlete bringing home another medal. I can foresee Team Canada smashing the record, yes. Do I foresee them overtaking the Olympics? I'm not so sure. Not yet. I think it's going to be close, though. But, yeah, it's just I mean, Team Canada on the Olympic side is really good when it comes to winter. I'm glad that's your hot take and not mine, because I don't think I would be able to make that one. However, along the same lines, sticking with the winter sports medal tallies, I teased this earlier in the show. Team Canada's parabiathlon team, every single member who competes in Milano-Cortina is going to get a medal. I think from start to finish, that team is as strong of a Paralympic team I have seen. And on the Canadian side of things, I mean, they're racking up medals. It seems multiple medals every single week. Your PSN update literally had 3 medals. Natalie Wilkie with the gold, Mark Arends with the silver and a bronze. I think they cannot be stopped. I foresee every single member having their medal moment at the games. What do you think of that one?
I want to go a level higher with that one.
Okay.
I think we're going to have most of the roster is going to be multi-medalists.
Okay.
We also have Brittany Hudak. We have Derek Slaponsky, who's really taken that next step in his development. And we also have so many other athletes who've been in the roster in the past, whether it's Christina Picton, Colin Cameron. There's top quality athletes all around. So I really feel, and this is going to help me with my prediction of winning more medals in the Olympic side, is we're going to have just a roster full of multi-medalists at Milano-Cortina.
You saw my hot take and you raised it another level. That's what I'd like to see. There's nowhere to go from here, unfortunately, Nathan. You trumped me. Might as well call it a show. But we will see once the games are over if we were right or if we were way off base with this. But thank you at home for watching, listening. Be sure to catch us next time. You can catch us on YouTube, where you get your podcasts, and listen to us on AMI Audio. Catch you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to Parasport Nation. Like and subscribe to the channel to follow us now.